Hey everyone, Silver's here. Nasus has been revealed, so let's go ahead and take a look at his video and then take a look at his cards as well. So he is new keyword slay. Oh, we had that effect in Tussle. It was so much fun. We had a whole archetype on it. I'll talk more about the cards after. Bakai Reaper, fearsome. When you slay a unit, grant me +1/0, 1 mana 1/2 with fearsome. Yeah, that's really good. Seeing that combo there too. That's exactly what I expected to be played with. That seems really strong to me. Nasus grows. I love how he gets like the green animation that he does like in League of Legends. Acquire taste. Why are you showing off Tom? I want to see Nasus. Siphoning Strike. I just saw like an ally, looks like strikes. Leveled him up. Wow, I love that animation. The blue is so pretty. Level 2 Nasus looks sick. Like the art does. Get Spell Shield too. So things lose attack. I missed that. Looks like they lose 1 attack. Grow! Okay, so Sun Disc is going off for the Ascended. Shurima. Oh, I don't know if I noticed the Shurima Nexus before. Sweet. I know this music doesn't really mix well with it. I don't even know if you can hear the music. You can't. Alright, I'll just put it in after the game. Because like I said, there's been issues with there being copyright claims on this. So, you know, I didn't really want to get a copyright claim or strike. Follow me on Twitter. I'm always going to say that after watching stuff on Twitter, by the way. So here we have the Empires of Ascended, new cards being shown. Nasus fearsome. I have +1/1 for each unit you've slain this game. When I strike for 10+ damage is the level up. 6 mana 2/2. So ideally, it's units you've slain. So you want to have decent statted units in the early game to make sure that you're able to get Nasus at least to like a, I mean, ideally at minimum a 6 mana 6/6 with fearsome, but more ideal than that is you want to see, oh, it's each unit you slain, not just enemies though, so you can't kill off your own units. Like Blighted Caretaker and stuff is pretty sweet. Oh, that's a pretty, that's actually really cool. So it's kind of like an Endure in some ways. 6 mana 7/7 with fearsome, like once you get there and higher, if you can play that on 6, you're pretty happy with Nasus. So I feel like Shadow Isles does just work really well with him if you're not running the Mono Shurima for the Ascended version. So there is the Ascended Nasus. He has fearsome as he did before, and also now adds Spell Shield. I have +1/1 for each unit you've slain this game. Enemies have -1/0, so make that slaying a little bit easier. You've restored the Sun Disc's level up. So really, his level up doesn't do all that much. It gives him Spell Shield and enemies -1/0. I guess the enemies -1/0 like constantly, you know, that is a bigger deal than what I was originally like in the 2 seconds ago giving it credit for, but that late in the game, the stats just don't matter as much, so it's a bit hard to say how much that's going to matter. Ascended version, so this is most likely the Mono Shurima because you want to be able to pick your, or draw your Sun Disc easily. I have +1/1 for each unit you slay in this game. Enemies have -3/0, and he gains +7/7 in stats. Which, at that point, you're hoping that your Nasus is like 20+ attack and that he's looking to end the game with a single, I would say Siphoning Strike, but that's not exactly what that does. It says an ally strikes a unit. Unfortunately, the Nexus does not count because that would be insane for 5 mana. It's slow. If it dies, grant allied champions everywhere +2/2. So you're granting, interesting to think about. I was gonna say you're only granting 6 cards +2/2, but with Hourglass, you could be granting more than that, or like Talia and Hourglass. That is something to think about, that maybe you can get like +10/10 or +12/12 stats, or even a decent number of stats on the board. So Nasus is another Ascended card. We don't know how many more Ascendeds there will be, especially in this expansion, so I'll be interested to see if the Sun Disc version is worth running or not in this part. It kind of reminds me that, like, I think when we got Targon first out, we had like the 2/3 mountain dude, and he really wasn't worth running in mono Targon because there just weren't enough good Targon cards. So I feel like Shurima is going to be a bit late to the party too, where some of the synergies that we might expect don't happen right away because we don't have access to all the cards that were intended for the set. We'll see what happens with that, I guess. So we'll go on to the next one. Bakai Reaper. When you slay a unit, grant me +1/0. I think this card is nuts. A 1-drop that gives you additional value already starts at, you know, an okay stat line. 1 mana 1/2 with Fearsome is not bad at all. Kind of similar to Precious Pet being a 1 mana 2/1 with Fearsome, but this one, after it gains 1 attack, slays 1 unit, or a friend slays, like a ally slays a unit, it gains +1/0. It's a 1 mana 2/2 with Fearsome all of a sudden. Like, that's not hard to do, especially if you're running Shadow Isles. I think this card is so freaking good. This card is pretty nuts to me. I don't know if it's quite as good as Bark Beast, but it's up there. The Fearsome tag is very helpful. Next one is Rampaging Bakai Overwhelm. 5 mana 4/6. That's a great stat line and Overwhelm just on its own. Like, without even the text, that is a great stat line, and yeah, pretty great stat line, I would say. Play if you slain 4+ units this game, an enemy and I strike each other. So it's kind of a clear in some ways, or a favorable trade. That's why it has so much health, so you can trade and then attack with the Overwhelm after. This card looks insane to me. I think it's incredibly strong. Yeah, that'll be like a Shurima staple in any kind of deck that can make sure you can slay units. Really freaking good. It is a skill, no surprise, as you see the little dot there. Oh, Sanctum Conservator, 8 costs. It's the first time we've seen a really high cost, I think, besides, well, I guess we saw the Sandra cards, but like in Shurima, that is. Fearsome, play if you slain 13+ units this game, kill all enemy followers and summon a copy of me. So this is an 8 mana, wow, 16/10 in a lot of cases. That's pretty cool. Kill all enemy followers. So if you're doing that, and they have Fearsome, I mean, it's likely that one of those gets through. That is an okay game finisher. I don't know how much value you're going to get off of killing all enemy followers, because I have no idea how many are going to be played in that time. And with Nasus too, if you have Nasus out, giving things -1 attack or -3/0, I'm guessing more likely -1 attack, then it's going to be really hard to block Nasus and the Sanctum Conservator. I mean, it's going to be really hard to block them with their Fearsome. So that's pretty sweet. That's the skill. That artwork is pretty cool. I appreciate it. Spirit Fire, 7 mana burst spell. Ooh, we don't see that often. Give enemies -2/0 and round and deal 2 to me this round. Oh, wow. That's -2/0. So like, this is a huge open attack punisher. And on top of that, you're likely to kill things. So any kind of swarm deck, yeah, that's pretty good. I don't know if 7's going to be too costly or not. I'm trying to think of what kind of decks I would expect that I'd have enough time to play it on 7 mana. And Shurima. Like, this seems to be like Shurima's Avalanche, essentially. Of course, it's burst, but it costs quite a bit more. So you're removing the attack, you get good trades. I mean, you're removing the attack to get good trades, and then things that don't die, you are dealing 2 extra damage to them. That just seems really good to me. That's like double value in some ways. Oh, yeah, I think this card will be pretty decent, but if it flopped and didn't do well, I wouldn't be surprised. I'd be like, alright, but I kind of expect it to be pretty decent. Rite of Calling Slow, 0 mana. Kill an ally or destroy one of your mana gems to draw a champion. Wow, that just seems insane. So in mono champions, you can tutor. I mean, we do have that Ambassador, the 4 mana Allegiance 3/2 card that draws 1 with +2/2. But in this, you have like 2 ways to tutor champions now. You can use that, or you can use the Rite of Calling. So you can get Renekton and Nasus on the board, not too hard, and maybe go for the Ascended stats on them. That definitely helps where you can just tutor it in rather than waiting for it. Weight of Judgment. Slow. Deal 2 to a champion or 7 to a follower. That's really bad, isn't it? Not being able to hit champions is just bad, and it's slow. like 7 to a follower. There just aren't that many followers you care about hitting. I guess like this could kill like a rampaging Bakai. I don't know, I just think it's not very good. It just seems too slow. Deal 2 to a champion, you can kill Twisted Fate. Woo! I don't know, it's just seems too slow to me. Unless big followers do a lot more or they're worth playing 4 mana for, maybe, but current state of things, I mean, champions just rule the world, and dealing 2 to a champion feels poopy. Ruinous Path, slow, 2 mana, draw 1. If you slain a unit this round, drain 2 from the enemy nexus. It's really bad that usually you want to draw at the start of a round. You're looking to draw into a better play, better answer. And this is a draw after the round is done, unless maybe you play like a Ravenous Butcher first, and then you play this. Like, it's just really slow if you're doing that, and your opponent's developing more blockers. And draining 2 from the Nexus isn't that big of a deal when you have cards like Doom Speaker or Doom Beast available. The 3 mana 3/2 Nightfall card. I mean, in a burn list, it could see some play. It could. Draw 1, you know, is still 2 mana. Draw 1 isn't the worst thing in the world, but it is a bit slow. So it kind of depends on the meta. If it's a slower meta, this might be able to be thrown into Shurima list. The 2 mana draw 1 could just be worth it, but there is just other landmarks that allow it to draw better, essentially, is my thought on it. Overall, very interesting cards. I think that Nasus level 2 looks better than Nasus level 3. I mean, this blue, the artist just nailed this. Like, this looks so good. This is a little bit hard to see just because of the rock background, and then the eyes on this one look really sweet as well. The 3 forms look pretty sweet, though. Anything else I really have to say here? I don't think so. I think this is kind of fun for memes. I don't know how good this is going to be. You might be able to play like a Shadow Isles package with Bakai, and then use this as a game finisher, and you can play Atrocity if you're playing with Shadow Isles. So it could be like a Shadow Isles and this be a replacement for They Who Endure. That could certainly be a thing. I think that's going to be the best way to utilize this card. I think Bakai Reaper is just nuts. 1 mana, be able to infinitely grow. You know, we've seen those cards in other card games. They usually pop off pretty hard. So I wouldn't be surprised if this did too. I think Siphoning Strike is a bit slow, but I love the flavor of it, and I love the memes of it. So I appreciate it, and I think Rampaging Bakai. The Bakais are just nuts. Rampaging Bakai is insane. Bakai Reaper is insane to me. They're both really good. And this Rite of Ritual, 0 mana, draw your champion. Pretty freaking good. You know, you can sacrifice like a Spiderling for it. We'll see if there's any other sacrifice tools in the future, but this could be a pretty nuts card, especially if you can do it like on, like say if you play like a token on turn 1 and then they don't have any way to like ping your token, and you can just play that and just draw your champion right away. Especially if you have like a really solid turn 2 or 3 champion, which this game has a lot of those. That's nuts to me. So even like a Zoe or something too, but we'll see what happens with that. So thanks for watching my video. I will see you all later. Bye!